Welcome to the Richmond Film Network Podcast, your all-access pass to the world of independent cinema. Each week, we go beyond the credits and sit down with the creatives who turn vision into reality. Tune in weekly to find out who's on the RFN pod.
Welcome to the Richmond Film Network Podcast, where we spotlight the filmmakers shaping the independent film scene. I'm Alina, and today we're talking with two directors and a star from Los Angeles whose latest project is blurring the lines between theater, filmmaking, and reality TV. Their pilot episode, The Matinee, Edge of Glory, challenges four actors who've never met to write, rehearse, and perform a play in just 6 hours. It premiered on YouTube in August, where it's already racked up over 6,000 views, and now it's making its festival world premiere right here at RFN Indie Fest on November 15th at the Park RVA. Welcome the creative duo behind the project, Blake Kaiser and Benny Flora.
Hey
Hello.
guys, thanks for having us. Yeah.
And of course, we have our star of the show, Marcel Kavalier. So happy to have you join in as well.
It's an honor to be here.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. Matinee has such a unique premise, four strangers, one day, one play. Can you tell me a little bit about like where this idea came from?
Well, I just wanted to take an opportunity to give back to the thespian world. Since everything got shut down with the strike, I wanted to give people an opportunity to stay creative, pulling together random actors, or I call them my children, bring them together to put together this experiment that I've been thinking about for like years. Just a way to bring strangers together and create something that that would change lives.
Yeah.
It would make an impact in someone's life, and it has. It as the guys can tell you, it already has grown from just this small, minuscule atom into this grandioso, and even furthermore growing.
Yeah, so can you tell me a little bit about how you guys all became a team?
Yes, so I was scrolling through social media and I come across this video of these two gentlemen. They were just putting together random small projects, and I was like, there's so much more potential there. And brought them out to LA, and we had this idea of putting the experiment together finally, and they made it happen. I'm so happy, guys. Thank you.
That's great. Yeah, Benny,
Pleasure.
Blake, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, Kavalier kind of brought this idea to us, and it was definitely up Benny and I's wheelhouse. We like doing kind of doc/reality stuff with very odd premises. And yeah, so immediately we just kind of started figuring out on our end, like, how can we practically do this and shoot this? And with the first episode, like, we had no idea really what we were doing, though. So we kind of we went in with, we had a basic idea of, okay, this is going to be our crew of 3 camera ops, and like Kavalier will be there, of course, and the actors, and there's the whole premise. But like, we didn't really know what was going on, like, going into this first episode. Like, it's about, in the intro, Cavalier's talking about how it's actors in the theater, and then obviously you watch the first episode and they're like in a random backyard, like in the hot sun. So that was kind of, part of the unplanned. But we were so excited after we filmed the first one, and we were like, oh, this can work. So we've already shot the second one, like, now in a real theater in LA, and like, we're shooting the third one in December. So like, we're definitely stepping up. But it was super, super fun, and it made us want to keep doing it to at least complete like a season of it.
That's great. I was going to ask about next steps after this. If it'll be the same actors, or are we doing a different set of characters each episode, or
Different characters each episode. We want to switch it up. Get as many people involved with it as possible.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it's like the same challenge, but with different people each time.
With different curveballs along the way.
All right. Love it. Love it. And is there any like reason for like the 6-hour time limit specifically?
So in my family, there's 6 of us, and it ties in with that. 4 of us were raised together. That's the reason why I came up with 4 actors, and then 6 hours was the 6 of us, and it just helps me correlate it with my family.
Right. I love it. So it's like really infused with your like personal meaning.
Yes.
I love it.
And there's only one performance.
Yes. So speaking of your actors, what kind of qualities were you looking for in casting? Like, did they audition? Did they come from referrals? Like, how did you find these people?
Kavalier came to us obviously, and he was like, I don't like have much filmmaking experience. Like, how do we cast something? And I was working on a project casting it at the time, so I was pulling from the people I was meeting from there without telling the director who was of the actual project, like messaging people on the side. I was like, hey, you would be great in this. But that didn't really work out, and people are a little bit weird about that. So we just posted online, and I reached out to some people who I had worked with before. But like we really need people who have a lot of ideas and kind of can advocate for themselves in that scenario. Like the guy Shane in episode 1, he's our friend,
Oh
and
yeah,
we knew he would be great because he's like a writer. He's really good with people, and he is like one of, I think, the key components of the episode. And then there's
he's very grounding.
yeah. And then like Amber, for example, like she was the one who we cast online from a casting call, and she was so positive. We talked to her and she was like, I love this idea. And that's always a good sign too, because people, they just take it so much more seriously and put their hearts into it if they think that the idea has potential. Because obviously, like, who are we? You know, we have Kavalier, of course, and we have like me and Blake, but like we're nobodies, you know, like people like need to believe in it, or else they don't take it seriously. It's serious.
Yeah, totally. And how do you guys feel about like the final result of episode 1? Do you feel like they succeeded? Like
The experiment
Yeah.
was a success.
yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, I feel like there was kind of no planning on that first one. I feel like succeeded in the sense where like they were able to put on a story. There is a play that they perform, and by the end of it, they all did seem to like have fun. I think
I
even
thought so
Ted,
too.
who like
I was
you
gonna
know,
bring him up.
yeah, he definitely was the one who was annoyed throughout and wasn't the biggest Kavalier fan. But I do think like overall, and like when we did our talking head interview with him as well, he did seem to look back on it in some sort of fond light, or at least that it was a very interesting experience.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just glad that everyone at least seemed to have a mostly positive takeaway, because we didn't know how it would really end up. They didn't really know that Kavalier was coming out. He was the host and all these elements, and like also being out in the hot sun was a surprise for them. Benny and I feel like we just didn't even think about that until Ted got there and was like, where's the sunscreen? Like, what's going on? So yeah, but I
Right.
think it was a good first go around.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
perfect.
That brings me to my next question. I was gonna ask, like, so what's the line between like reality and maybe some, I don't know, production assistance? How authentic, I guess, was the whole thing?
So we kind of go through, we make like an outline of what exactly we're going to cover, such as the improv games, as well as the gist of what they'll be doing when it comes to working on the project and different things that I'll throw at them. But most of it is reality right there, spot on with exactly what they're doing is what's being filmed. The guys have a wonderful way of even cutting that up and making that into the art that you saw. So all of it's pretty much reality, except the only thing planned is just what exactly we're doing along the way.
And the one thing I would say too that was kind of like we manipulated a bit more was because we didn't know if this would work at all. We told Shane, we were just like, please like make sure that there is something that happens. Like we really don't know what this combination is going to be and if they're going to be able to do something. So just make sure there's like an intelligible story. And I think at the end of the day, we really didn't have to do that. But because we had no idea, we did give him that little.
Yeah, just to make sure.
Another thing with Shane too, I guess, just as far as him being like the plant and like reality and fiction, the one other thing he knew was I think we told him just kind of vaguely that Kavalier is gonna like really believe in him and have like a like slight fascination with Shane. So Shane was the only one who knew like really that there like what there was a host and like what he would kind of be like.
Okay, so yeah, so that I was gonna ask. So like these people, they didn't really have any idea. Like it was all surprise to them. Okay.
For episode 1, I think we probably told them the least. Yeah, we kind of were just like, hey, we're doing this weird like theater experiment and we're gonna film it all. You want to come? And they were like, yeah, sure, I guess. And like I remember our call with Ted was like 2 days before, because we had like 3 people drop out on us in a row and we just couldn't lock in that last person. Blake was like, I remember I worked with this guy on like a short film. And so we called him and he was like, I don't understand. It's like I'm doing a play, but you're filming. But he was like, yeah, I'm down. And then he came, and so we told them what they were going to be doing, but just the only thing that was a surprise was Kavalier and his inspiration.
In talking about the casting, like I noticed that there was some kind of a like little love interest thing going on between two of them, and then Ted was like really a skeptic, and then Shane like really was grounding. So like was that just like luck? And if it was luck, is that something that you're hoping to recreate in other episodes, or like are you searching for those dynamics? Or did they just fall into your lap?
We just got so lucky with that
Yeah,
one.
we got it.
I think one of the reasons that we wanted to do it again so bad was because we got so lucky with the cast, and there's such a unit together. And and working on episode 2, I think we had less of luck. Like all the characters are really good in episode 2, but episode 1 is like they're all have this sense of togetherness that I think we're really trying to get for episode 3 again. And we're trying to like kind of think about how we can, like, what are those archetypes of people that could fit well together. But yeah, episode 1 was just luck. Like Matt and Amber, just luck. I mean,
They
I remember
actually were like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we filmed the thing, like what you actually see is like the day, and then like 5 months later we filmed the actual interviews of it, because we were trying to do our best without them. Because we had like a mess up on set where we lost, like we had like this confessional cam thing, but it didn't work out.
Mm.
So we were like, oh, there's kind of this thing before we did the talking head interviews. We were trying to cut it down, and we were like, oh, there's kind of this love thing between Matt and Amber. I wonder what we can do about it. And in Matt's talking head, when we did the interview with him, we were like, what do you think of Amber? And he was like, Amber's great, very beautiful, by the way. And we didn't want him to say that at all. And we were like, oh man, there clearly was something here. So it was a lot easier to throw in with those interviews.
Yeah. So it sounds like that it was kind of luck on the first try, but now it'll be something that you're kind of in search for when you're casting later.
Yeah,
I see.
I guess just the dynamics of actor, and figuring out how they'll fit together, because it may not always be a love interest. It might be another situationship that'll grow within that, which is another part of the experiment altogether. Because it's not just the show; it's the connection that the actors become together, and it's also just putting something out there to bring joy to somebody, or make an impact on someone.
Absolutely. Yeah. So talking about production, did you guys what kind of budget were you guys working with for this pilot?
For the pilot, it was not a lot. The only things we spent money on were crafty, lunch, a porta potty, because they weren't allowed inside our friend's house to use the bathroom, so we had to put porta potty in the front of the house. Our overhead was really low, because also like really lucky just like having our friends who own their own cameras and want to just help us out. So budget wise, it was very minimal and kind of allowed us to just whip it together quickly and try it. Definitely for the coming episodes, like episode 2 was quite a bit more. We paid our actors this time. We're in a theater space. We have a bit more equipment. Well, I guess in episode 1, the one thing we did spend on, which is super helpful for Benny and I, is Benny and I are basically sitting in a separate room the whole time. Like the actors never really see us beyond casting. And we have 3 monitors in front of us. So we're watching each camera, and then we have headsets so we can talk to all the cam ops. And that was about like $250. So we might have pulled off the episode, the first one, like $500,
Really? Wow.
Maybe. It's been a while, but yeah, definitely not a lot of expenses required for that first one.
Love it, DIY. And since it's been out on YouTube now for a little bit, the 6,000 views and counting, what has the reaction been so far from audiences?
It's been great from a lot of people. We definitely mixed reviews. I think the main thing is it's like so hard to make with the footage we had, and a lot of it is shaky, and there's just some technical difficulties. So I think people say that can be distracting, and we got some feedback too when we were showing it to our friends that like, oh, this should just be like a proof of concept. Like, don't release this one. It's like focus on episode 2, get everything right. And we were like, but we just love this cast so much. And that's another thing that's been huge in the reaction. People have been like, oh my God, like Ted is awesome. Oh my, like people really connect to the characters. Like, oh my God, like these people are great together. And I think that is why we wanted to release it so bad, because the characters. So I'm really glad that stuck out to people.
Yeah. Marcel, do you have
I was
something?
gonna say, just tapping onto that, like everyone that like I've have seen it, they all fall in love with like one character. But even so, every time I watch it, I like latch on to another character each time. And then even so, combining that with like the production behind it, like being able to say, oh snap, I know who's on this camera, and like, yo, he really got that. It's very cool to even see that. And even though like you said, it may be a little shaky, but that shows the rawness and the realness of it, which is even more so making people relate to it. Because like it's a real life situation. Like what if someone came up to you and was like, yo, put something together real quick for me? It gives them like spot on practice, and then we're producing it so that other people can get inspired by that. So it's a whole like mixture of just wonderful impacts, and like you guys really killed it. Like production of it for that. Wow. Yo, kudos to you guys. You guys did that for real.
Yes. And specifically, Marcelo, you play Kavalier. You're very, I don't know, memorable. As I was talking to Benny and Blake before you joined, I was like, they were like, oh, would it be okay if he joins? I said, absolutely. I would love if he joins. I feel like that's the thing. And so that's what's going to be consistent throughout that, and the premise, of course. As a character, how much of that is like character? How much is true to you?
That was all me.
All right.
Honestly, that is all me. It's not really like I had to bring anything out or channel anything. Like it's really me. I want to draw the best out of people. I want to see my experiment go forward. And they inspired me as much as I inspired them. Like it was really a great opportunity.
Yeah, it definitely sounds very collaborative. But yeah, I wanted to specifically mention Kavalier, the host.
Appreciate
So
it.
grandiose. I definitely think that added a really fun element. So now that Edge of Glory is out in the world, what's next? You said you're doing episode 2, or you did episode 2, you're doing episode 3. Will you guys be planning to keep this as like an indie web series, or are you going to be trying to pitch it?
Yeah.
What's the plan?
So yeah, we shot episode 2. It's been a lot easier to edit after, like the first one took us like 8 months or maybe more to edit. But now that we kind of know what's going on, we've been flying through it a lot quicker. So we just had a test screening for episode 2 to get some feedback and stuff. And we're hoping we can get it out in December, or at least before we shoot the 3rd episode on the 7th. And I think just kind of our game plan right now for the future matinees is to at least do 6. We want to do 6 episodes. That's like our first season. And I mean, we would, if there's a world where we could pitch this show in some way, obviously like that would be amazing. We have so many ideas for it too. Like Benny and I talk about like the movie all the time, and like all these like crazy things we could do if we had a lot of money. You know, it could get really absurd. But if it just stays a web series, like no matter what, we'll at least do this first season. And I think each episode will get better in terms of like we have a better plan going into it. Like I feel like episode 2, we had a better idea of what we were trying for. In episode 3, I feel like, you know, after doing the first 2 and then comparing those and the differences and the similarities, like what worked, what didn't work, I'm hopeful for episode 3 we're able to pull off like the best, or at least learn another big thing. You know, we want to just make sure we're trying something new in each episode.
That's how it felt for episode 2. Like it felt like, oh, we finally know what we're doing. Let's go into the cutting room and we show it to our friends, and it's like, oh, there's so much more we could do better. So now episode 3, it feels like that. I'm sure episode 4 is going to feel like that too, but it's really great because I feel like we're going in so blind on how to do it. Like episode 1, we were like, I guess we just get 3 cameras and just throw them in there. And now we have like this whole like outline for like what to do with the cam operators, and like we know much more how to like come at it from a directing standpoint. That it's really cool. It feels like a really unique skill set that I'm glad that I have been able to develop.
I say by episode 6, it's going to be epic. Like, I mean, every time we get into that theater or into that space where we're coming together, where the 3 of us come together and start planning, it's like, you know, it grows and grows and grows, and there's more ideas and more ideas and more ideas. It's going to be epic, and it's growing, and it's just phenomenal.
I mean, I think even
so it's
episode
like
2 is a huge step up from.
It was. It really.
I think that'll be super cool to watch as you guys move along. So that's awesome. You're going to make the 6 episodes, and if you can turn it into something big, you will. So how did you guys even get into like the film world in general? Little backstory time.
Well, I can start, I guess. I feel like it might be a similar story that we all share in a way of just kind of like, it's the only thing I've really been like interested in. I didn't grow up having that many like hobbies. Like I play piano, and then I like making videos with my friends. So I knew I wanted to do stuff in like entertainment or with like movies, and especially at the beginning, like narrative specifically. So I did some like child acting when I was a kid because I wanted to do something. I didn't really know what like a director was. So I actually grew up in Virginia, and my mom would take me around, and you know, I'd go on auditions, and I was fortunate enough to do a few jobs that were pretty cool and at least got me like interested in it. And then learning like, you know, being on set and learning more like, oh, I actually don't really care about being in front of the camera. I think it's a lot more fun for me, at least, or I'm better suited to be behind it and like just kind of like telling stories. Like I just like telling my friends stories. I, you know, really fell in love with writing as well. So I've always been more like narrative stuff based, but I feel like becoming friends with Benny in college, and as we've started to do like more doc stuff, I've definitely found a love for that as well. But
Yeah,
Right.
it's somewhat similar for me. I mean, I think in high school and growing up, like I was always like trying to just dip my toes into everything creative, and like always making like just videos with my friends of something, like just filming like anything. And then I feel like I was really into music, and I was like a little bit into acting and like sport, and I was into all this stuff, and I was like, oh, but I'm not really like that good at any of it. And I was just like, oh, screw it, I'll go to film school, I guess. I feel like I'll be able to like figure out something with my skill set.
Bold choice.
What'd you say?
It's a bold choice to like be like, all right, I'll just figure it out after film school.
I don't know what to do. I really kind of went on a whim because I knew I wanted to do something creative. Like my whole life, like I had been doing stuff, and my parents like thankfully like really encouraged that, so I never really felt pressured and not. Yeah, so I guess I went to film school, and then I because I kind of started doing narrative stuff because I mean I loved making movies, but I never really like fell in love with it. I think in the way like Blake, like it like he lives and breathes filmmaking. But it wasn't, and in the first couple years of film school, I was like, oh, I don't know, like if this is gonna be right, like maybe I'll switch to something else. And then I discovered documentary, and I was like, oh, I'm all in. Like I love doing it. It's like a little more like run and gun. It's more like you're meeting real people, doing real stuff. And ever since then, yeah, I've kind of been like just all unscripted.
My background is in opera, actually. So I was an opera singer and came out here to Cali and wanted to put opera on the main, like on TV, like, you know, make it bigger than it. Like it's big, but it's like with the upcoming generations, like it was starting to die off. People aren't interested in with it.
Mhm.
So that was my main focus. But then exploring, like being in different shows and being in different movies, I was like, okay, well, there's something else that's growing within me. Let's bring that out also. And I love hosting. I hosted karaoke. I hosted different events. And sorry about that.
That's all right.
And you know, just growing it. And yeah, then like the reality TV idea came with you know, with these guys building it and making it into what it is. Sorry. So sorry.
It's all right. That's all right. So, where do you guys see yourself fitting into the larger reality industry? Do you guys think that you'll continue in this space, or what's the plan?
I mean, for me personally, like I would just be so happy to get paid to do anything like creative. So if I'm doing reality, that's always been such a fun place in my mind because like if you're working as like a producer or something, like you're just thinking of these crazy ideas and what is literally the most insane place we can put this person in? What is the most insane scenario we can put these people in, these couples in, this athlete in? Like it's all about thinking of weird scenarios. And I think even if like a reality show is a comedy, they're all so weird. And it's like you have to have that kind of brain to work in that space. I feel like that I think it would be a blast. I mean, yeah, if I ended up doing more reality stuff, I would not be sad.
All right. You agree?
I agree. Yeah, if we could get paid to do the matinee, that would be pretty cool.
All right. Also, I would love to hear where's everybody from before LA and what has your experience been in LA? How long have you guys been there? How do you like it? Do you plan to stay?
I'm from New Jersey, South Jersey. Been out here for about 6 years, and I love it.
Love it. Awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I grew up in Northern Virginia. Actually, I have a good amount of friends who went to VCU in Richmond. So I'm excited to go back. But yeah, I've been in LA for 5 years now, and I didn't really know what to expect. And definitely was I wasn't the biggest fan of it at first, I guess. But I think meeting the right people helped, and like it's a lot easier to make things out here. Like in Virginia, it was harder to convince people to like make something with me, but now like everybody wants to do it, so it's a lot easier. And just meeting the right people has helped. It's made me really grow to love it. Yeah, I probably will be here for a good chunk longer.
Awesome.
Yeah, same thing for me pretty much. I mean, I grew up in Pennsylvania, like right outside of Philly. And it's the same thing. Been here for 5 years and met people who I clicked with. And gonna see what happens, I guess.
We're all East Coasters originally.
Yeah.
East Coast love.
All right. So if you fast forwarded 5 years, what's a dream project for each of you? Whether reality narrative, something else, the matinee, or something totally different.
I mean, I think just keeping in line with the matinee, I think the matinee movie would be what we want to do. We've had like two ideas. One where it's like a road trip movie where like there's like we're on a big like tour bus and we like go all the way from LA to New York, and like it ends with them on Broadway or something. And then the bigger budget movie is like they're on like a boat, like going to Europe, and they're like practicing the whole time, and then they perform. I forget what the theater is that we've said
at the West End in London.
West End in London. In my wildest dreams, in 5 years, if I could do either of those, that would be really funny. Even if I had to pay money to do that, I would, if I had enough, I probably would, because it would be really funny and fun. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So I'm performing, like I love performing. Definitely the matinee is going to continue. Like even if it just stays like they were saying, like just a web series or episode by episode, it would be phenomenal. There's so many actors, there's so many people aspiring to be at that level. So it's like we're always going to have cast. We have no limit to where we can go with this. Like 5 years, I can see us just continuing down this pathway and making it even bigger. And we had talked about getting into high schools and starting to do it with students, as well as different scenarios that we've come up with. There's a whole bunch of things that we're going into. So it's a wonderful place to explore. I'm so down for the exploration, and here comes my puppy.
Benny,
I think
anything to add?
I mean, doing the matinee in 5 years. It's so fun. And I do feel like both Kavalier and Blake said, it's the gift that keeps on giving. I feel like it could last forever. We've only done 2 episodes, so who knows? But if that kept going, the movie, and as long as I'm still like making stuff.
All right. I am going to do a quick lightning round of questions. So just answer with your gut reactions. Favorite reality show currently on TV?
Oh, Love on the Spectrum. Love on the Spectrum.
I like MILF Manor.
It's like a doctor one, like Money and Love. Yeah, it's a doctors, and I don't know what they're called.
Does the rehearsal count as a reality show?
Yeah,
Because that's the best.
it
Yeah,
is
yeah,
though.
that is a good one. All right, is there a what film or filmmaker inspired you to pick up a camera or to start performing?
The Simpsons.
Sterling K. Brown, my dad, pops wannabe.
Yes.
Probably SpongeBob. That was the first thing I loved.
All right. If you could cast any celebrity to appear in a future episode of The Matinee, who would it be?
Steve Buscemi.
Taraji P. Henson.
Um, like maybe like Kevin Bacon or something.
All right. All right, that sounds like a dream team, all of them together.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
And do you guys have a dream city to shoot in next?
Miami.
I'm gonna say my hometown Leesburg if I could do like an actual production there because I've never done that.
I think Matinee like New York or even Matinee Philly where I'm from. People are so weird there. I think it would be
I
good.
love it. So before we wrap up, what did you each learn from creating The Matinee about collaboration or a couple of things that you'll take to your next projects from this?
Good, better, best. Never rest until your good is better and your better is best.
Right there. That's the lesson. I guess something I learned for myself is that I definitely would be interested in doing reality TV if like the idea is right, like the Matinee. And then also just in terms of like the Matinee working, learning that it can work was a big lesson and that just people are interesting. It is like fun to throw curveballs and ideas at them, but honestly, I feel like the best stuff was when we left them alone and
Mhm.
people working together in a creative space. Like we weren't sure if it would be entertaining or just super boring, but now I feel like it makes so much sense why it would be entertaining because there's so many natural disagreements or even like how good it feels when you see two people agreeing on an idea, and having that kind of like, oh yeah, I love that
Mhm.
camaraderie. Like I think that's cool. So yeah, just knowing that it could work and that people are interesting.
If I may
Totally.
touch on that, also that real quick. The beautiful thing about that is like we're as actors, we're on the opposite side. They just give us a script and direct us, whereas we're giving them the freedom to direct and do this all themselves. Like that's a major takeaway, and just believing in them.
Totally.
Yeah, I think kind of
Sorry.
similar to what everyone said. I think this is like applies for the Matinee specifically, but also just for anything documentary unscripted is just believing in the nuance and kind of the interesting stuff that just comes out from people interacting for the first time. Like I think we had this idea that we have to find the wildest people, we have to make this like insane, like just people who have the craziest ideas. But I think leaning into like, yeah, it's supposed to be funny, it's supposed to be like interesting and weird, but leaning into like the heart of it, I think is
Yeah.
something that I learned. Like no matter how weird like an idea is or like how out there it is, how much jokes you want to put in, like with the heart is why people will sit and watch it for 30 minutes. And I think leaning into those aspects for the Matinee specifically is gonna be what helps us.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like you said, like when Ted is looking back with a little bit of fondness, it feels so earned after you've seen him kind of be a little difficult for the last 30 minutes. And it's like, "Oh, so he did have fun, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. So, and thanks for that advice about, the reality unscripted space. It's like you're reading my mind, Benny. Like that was going to be my next question, but you already answered it. So, and finally, how can listeners keep up with your work? Social media, website, YouTube channel, plug away.
Yeah, at least for the Matinee and a lot of other stuff that Benny and I are making, we have a YouTube channel and Instagram called Sneed Films, SNEAD. And also the Matinee has its own Instagram. I believe it's the Matinee _LA. But yeah, we'll be making more of these, and Benny and I also just work on a bunch of other stuff that hopefully we'll be releasing soon.
But keep a lookout for episode 2 because that's going to be out fairly soon.
Yeah. And I am Kavalier on Instagram. Also, along with the show, there's a lot of other things attached with it that'll be coming out. Merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, things like that.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Blake, Benny, Cavalier, thank you all for joining us, and congratulations again on the Matinee Edge of Glory making its festival world premiere at RFN Indie Fest. To our listeners and viewers, follow the Richmond Film Network podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts to catch more conversations with independent filmmakers who are redefining what's possible on screen. Until next time, I'm Alina for the Richmond Film Network podcast. Yay.
Thanks, Alina.
Yeah, thanks.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Richmond Film Network podcast. Thanks to our guest and to you, our listeners, for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. Tune in next week to see who's on the RFN pod. Until then, keep the cameras rolling.